Good evening, everybody. This is a market and crypto recap for Thursday, March 6th. Let's talk about what I'm kind of looking at here. This is what I'm doing, and I know people must be feeling a little frustrated or a little down on themselves right now because this is a pretty decent pullback right now. I mean, in the reality of things, we are down, well, we hit 7%, we're down 6.6% right now. But this is what I'm kind of looking at. So on ES, our S&P futures, we hit down 7.24%. We actually did tap this back test, this previous resistance right here on the futures. So we wicked off that absolutely perfectly. If I zoom in, we absolutely wicked off it perfectly. Like, I think we broke it by like barely anything, but we tapped it, and then we're starting to see a bounce from here. Looks like in the futures we actually got a mini pivot and trend possible. We could call it a trend change, but I still want to see more a more convincing trend change. I mean, if we get up here, would be great. I'm kind of watching the S&P as a potential falling wedge because we broke down with not a lot of follow through. So now we look up and watch for the upper trend line. So yeah, when you see breakdowns with no follow throughs, we automatically start thinking, oh, this could be a wedge. Overall, we are at. I'm just focusing on the SPY futures. We're at this back test. We back tested it, came up, and then this is a third back test here. So I had to make an entry here when I noticed that we had actually back tested the futures. I did make an entry down somewhere down here. When I saw that, I can't remember exactly where. I think I made it actually in this equilibrium. I'm like, as soon as I noticed, I'm like, I caught it somewhere on this pullback here or something. Anyways, I just noticed that we had this perfect back test that I had to have a small entry. Anyways, I personally want to see more downside. This 7% is not too extreme. The way we closed, so looking at the S&P, the way we closed, this is still just like a waterfall down move where we have not had a lot of consolidation. It's pretty much straight down. As far as the weekly goes, look at the weekly, and we are seeing increasing volume. I might expect to, we're expecting to see. I'm assuming we're going to see some pretty big volume come in tomorrow to end this week off, and we might see an actual volume climax that we haven't seen in quite a while. So as far as making entries go, I'm looking at like back down at this 561. I did make an entry because the futures, and it's possible that we could end up holding there because we did kind of flag on the 4 hour and didn't see a lot of follow through on this break. So, and we closed above it. So I'm cautious that could have possibly been a bottom, but I'm fully ready to see more downside. We need to change the 4 hour trends. Nothing changes until this 4 hour trend changes. So we did see an equilibrium here, and then we broke down. We haven't seen a lot of follow through yet, and ES futures actually are bouncing already. So that's why I'm looking at this falling wedge. But what I'm gonna be doing from here on out, I have a small position right now. I think I have 5 contracts for May 600s. If we see a pullback to this 561 level, I'm going to get very interested and probably pick up even more contracts. I might lower them to like maybe like in the money, like 550 or 560 at the money at that point, and looking for May contracts, because at this point we are due for a bounce. And we are just waiting for a weekly bounce at this point. Now, this was a a breakaway candle. So it could get choppy here for a little while, and we could see a bit more continuation to the downside. There's nothing to show us that we are setting a weekly high or low. The absolute bare minimum we have to do is change the 4-hour trend, which we are not even considering at this time. Like that's not even on the radar. I'm just trying to get ahead of this bounce because, as far as I'm concerned, there's no real panic in the market. I'm not seeing that. There's enough to be a correction. So 10 to 12% I could easily see. And so when we hit down 8.5%, I plan to pick up a bit more, and then I plan to get a bunch more at around 12 to 12.5%. I will be making multiple positions on the way down, and that is preemptive of a bounce. And I'm going to wait for that weekly bounce at that point, and wherever that bounce comes from, it's possible we could just keep crashing. Like, that's entirely possible. We could see a 20% down move. Who knows? We would need to see a lot of sustained volume to make that happen, and a 20% move would break 500. I would probably get a much bigger position at that point and wait for a weekly bounce. But I'm looking at May or June. I'd probably, if it got down here, I'd be looking at June or July contracts as far as letting this play out. I would need you need more time at these points, but we're still healthy consolidation as long as we are above these previous resistances. This is completely healthy consolidation, and that's what I'm going to be looking at. So don't worry, we're not down and out yet. We need to wait for this weekly bounce to happen, and then if we see a very weak retracement on the bounce, that's when we have to start having red flags. If we go up and we set a lower high very low and then start heading down again, then things can get pretty escalated to the downside, and we could see this 20% fairly easy. But it takes time to change these trends. We've been straight bull. We haven't changed the weekly trend. We have broken weekly supports, but this is not a trend change yet. We have to wait for the bounce and then see where the lower high comes from to be like, okay, this is a weak bounce, and we would be expecting more downside and watching our volume too. That's the main thing. So the semiconductors have been the problem child. They've been leading us down, and as long as they're leading us down, they'll keep leading us down. And with how much they went up, they can keep going for quite a while. So, and also, most of our names are looking towards daily oversold. So Tesla's already there. Meta is approaching. And remember, this is the first daily oversold since all-time highs. And with my trading strategy, when you see moves straight from all-time highs, those are buying opportunities. You want to de-risk on the way back up, but those are the buying opportunities. Like 4-hour oversold on the way up you want to see a weekly higher low set. But daily oversold, we're trying to look for this monthly higher low at this point. And we haven't even reached daily oversold yet. So, I mean, it's possible we don't. But there's so much confluence here that I would love a position off of the monthly 12 EMA, which is the 560 area. And I'll just keep pounding the table at this 560 area. I want to see this. I think that's where the bears are taking us. I just took a small position just in case, but I'm ready for more downside. And with this elevated volume, we should expect more downside. Okay, so that's the game plan. All these names, I'm not going to go over all these tickers, but I'm telling you, all these names are approaching or daily oversold. So Meta, NVDA, I believe this is the first time since all-time highs. Yeah, NVIDIA, So all these names, Meta, NVIDIA, Tesla, Palantir. Palantir hasn't even hit. So let's look at, okay, I'll go over this as well. So this is the last time, right here. This is the last time we hit daily oversold from our all-time high. We went straight from here, we had a little bounce, and then straight down to almost, we didn't make it to a daily oversold, and that sent us on our next leg up, giant leg up. Like, look at how much that was. 21%. And then we had another attempt here, right here, just straight from all-time highs. We didn't even make it again. How much do we get on this one before that? We got 13.5%. This time, right here, we also had, okay, nope, sorry, that'd be this bounce. This bounce ended up being a weak bounce, but then we saw from the second time it tapped, like we would have had, what's it called, bullish divergence on the second. We had bullish divergence where price action made a lower low, but the RSI didn't. So we had bullish divergence, which sent us into our giant 20-30% move. So every time, look at if we can manage to get daily oversold, look at the moves that happen. It just, most of the time you see big moves happen from it. We have to gauge where that lower high comes from. So when we bottom out, ideally we see, I mean, here's a giant one. We don't get, like, these are opportunities in the S&P 500. When we reach daily oversold, weekly oversold, it rarely happens. This is when bear markets happen, and these are the huge buying opportunities. So daily oversold, see, like, look at this. Every time we get weekly oversold, this was close. Every time we get weekly oversold in the S&P 500, we see giant moves. Okay, so these are the times for longer term investments. Is weekly oversold, like it's right now we're just breaking 50 RSI on the weekly RSI, but I mean, we are approaching that daily oversold. And if we get that, statistically, it has been a good buying opportunity throughout history. So be excited for these pullbacks. Like, this is where the traders and the paper traders go. Like, this is where the real traders thrive, and this is why I'm excited about this, and I'm trying to get you guys excited about this. This is the time to be scouting for entries, and be patient with your entries, and don't just throw all in and on one name or something. And, like, I mean, the S&P's the safer bet if you're going to be doing something like that, because it's the 500 best companies and it's always rotating. Just be smart with your positioning. A lot of these names have headline news, or just they've gone up so much. Palantir, I might be interested if we can get back to this 63 level and see if we see a potential head and shoulders, and then I would be looking to exit on a bounce at this point. We got the 200 moving average. So if we break this, or if we come right down to the support, hold it, and see a daily bounce from there, or break it by a few pennies and then start bouncing, I'm interested in these type of moves. The S&P is kind of my main focus because that's just what everything's based off of. So that's why, yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that. But yeah, so if it makes it easier when you focus on the ETFs themselves in these type of situations. Some of the tickers, like Tesla's just getting super beat up. And now we're starting to see bullish divergence on RSI. I mean, there is a bounce coming on Tesla soon. We need to see a weekly bounce. Like, well, okay, we did see a weekly bounce here, and then it rolled over. But we are due for a weekly bounce on Tesla, wherever that's coming from. Maybe we'll see it on this resistance here, this previous resistance, like this area essentially. The 250s to 250 to 235 area. I'm kind of interested in Tesla in that area as well. Give us another flush down. Apple's just kind of range bound, so I'm not really interested in Apple. I want to see something better. IBM's just still holding this. This could be a head and shoulders. Like, actually, yeah, very much a head and shoulders. We have our left shoulder, our head, and this could be a weak right shoulder. IBM could be looking for significant gap fill here. So caution on IBM, actually. I'm going to go through crypto really quick here. I noticed there was a bit of a move after hours. Okay, so we're still kind of in this, we're still in this equilibrium for Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin is still kind of the main, well, obviously it's always the gold standard, but yeah. Anyways, we're just still in this equilibrium. We've broken the low of today already with the March 7th candle. But we're seeing a bounce. What happened here? We're still in this equilibrium, daily equilibrium. So that is the main focus. It seems to be a lot more volatile than the stock market is right now, seeing much bigger moves. But meanwhile, well, the stock market's seeing lower lows right now, and Bitcoin's just been in this equilibrium for a while. And we're trying to set this daily higher low now than 81,500. We have broken down, so we have the 200 moving average looking like it's being a bit of support. Whatever this news was, I'm sure Trump said something. We haven't bottomed out on it yet fully on the hourly. We're trying to form an hourly bounce. Obviously, the 15-minute is making a big recovery here. Now, we've made enough room that we would see a higher low on the way back down, so that's good to see. But yeah, we could end up we'll see if we can actually break that high again, but we might just chop around here for a little while. Ethereum. Okay, so we're in an equilibrium, but this was a weak bounce, and we probably made it to the 0.5 on this bounce. We've got the 12 moving average. Ethereum is weaker. I've been saying that for a long time. XRP, we're in this equilibrium. We have topped out officially now. So now we're looking for our daily higher low. We need to break the high of today or the high of yesterday to set our daily higher low. And we need hourly trend changes to start to begin that confirmation. Litecoin in this equilibrium, 4-hour equilibrium. So watch out for this. We haven't set the 4-hour higher low though yet, so caution on that. These are the important levels at this time. And we should see a higher low. This was a decent enough bounce that we should see a higher low, and then we'd be looking for a lower high on the way back up. Barring any news, obviously there was something said, so I don't know what that was. Hype, still continuing its daily. We're hitting daily over. We hit daily oversold here for the first time since all-time highs. So, and I'm sure a lot of other crypto names are hitting their daily oversold. I can almost guarantee it. Oh, they already hit theirs and are seeing their bounces actually. That's kind of why it is. So anyways, BNB in its equilibrium right here. We've got the 12 moving average above us. BNB is still stronger because it's still holding up. It held this mother bar, and we need to start seeing 4-hour trend changes to the upside. Keep our 4-hour trend change going. We've got an inverse head and shoulders here, a daily inverse head and shoulders. So watch out for that. Solana, very weak. We didn't get much of a bounce here. Didn't make it to the 0.5. So Solana looks really weak. And we should see an hourly higher low than 130.89, but we will see. Or a 4-hour higher low, I guess that would be. ONDO, clearly in this equilibrium. Quite a big volume spike on this. Looking for a 4-hour higher low than 86 cents. Just watch this to tighten up. Link. Link. This could be a potential... Oh, no. This is, yeah, inverse head and shoulders on the daily. We did break our neckline. But even if we did break our neckline, I still consider this a daily head and shoulders. It's just we need to get above... because we kind of got to be cautious of a rising wedge because we didn't see follow through. So now we need to get the hourly trend back going bullish, and then get above this trend line, because now we might be just fighting that trend line on the way up. Okay, so SUI, and all these names are like just looking for their monthly high or low at this point, except for a couple that are actually in monthly downtrends. But we're just looking for that monthly high or low, which a lot of these names have tons of room to the downside, which the more we go down, so we're hitting the golden pocket here on SUI and from its big move up. So now whenever this monthly bounces, we need to see daily trend change to start to think about that. But we would just be looking for a monthly higher low than the all-time high here. And we are holding the 12 so far. We don't want to lose the 12. XLM, same thing, looking for its monthly higher low. Need to start seeing daily trend changes. We're just in this weak bear flag. XLM looks terrible right now for potential continuation to the downside. Cardano, we did get a bit of a bounce. This was quite a bit of a pullback on the way back now, so we're still scouting the higher low at this time. We got the 12 moving average underneath us. So we need to start hourly trend changes back to the bulls to kind of get us back in the right direction. And we would still be looking for a lower high than this $1 and 1.027 cents. Dogecoin, weak. It's still weak, yeah. But we did get to the golden pocket on the way back up, but we're just looking for a 4-hour or daily higher low than this double bottom. We need to change the hourly trend. So changing the hourly trend is a common theme for a lot of these names. H-bar still in this daily equilibrium, so that's kind of good. It's easier to play. We're trying to set this daily higher low here. Change the hourly trend. So we've made enough room to get a higher low now. Now we need to, when this tops out, we need to see a higher low and then a higher high happen. Otherwise, this is just a bounce. If the things just go straight up, that's a bounce, and then they can come straight back down because no trends were actually changed. Mochi seeing an hourly bounce now, but overall very weak. We broke down. Mochi's terrible. Alpha, terrible. Just a daily bear flag. Looking at continuation to the downside. Caspa, terrible. Still looking for its daily, to set the daily higher low. This has just been a flush down. AVAX, daily bear flag. Ton, daily bear flag. Looking to confirm. And Trump, daily bear flag looking to confirm. Down, only made it to the 0.382, and then we're already breaking down. So this is a daily bear flag trying to confirm. Now if we break this low, we only have this low, and then we're going to all-time highs. Okay, I am done for today, and I will see you tomorrow morning for a pre-market. Take care.